You are still watching the What's New in Autodesk Inventor 2020, a deep dive into new functionality. My name is Andreas Ernst Wagner, and I'm working as a designated support specialist in the Enterprise Priority Support at Autodesk. We are continuing with the second part of assembly design enhancements in this video. Alright, let's start with many frame generator enhancements. When you have a look on the Design tab, you will see the new Insert EndCap command. You can use this command to close structural frame members by standard or user-defined end caps. During the work with the Insert EndCap command, you can adjust multiple parameters to place an end cap. For instance, the end cap placement, its profile, or inset. I've prepared a small demo a couple of slides later as well. To use the new Insert EndCap command, you should check if you have installed the custom content library and make sure this library is enabled in your Inventor project file. For end caps is also a file naming scheme available. You can customize file names for your needs. You find the file naming defaults in the application options on the File tab. In case you are coming from Inventor 2018 or previous versions and you'd like to learn how you can work with file naming defaults, I've recorded a chapter to treat this topic in my What's New in Inventor 2019. You can find the link to the AKN video collection, the name of the video, and the chapter with the start time on this slide. Let's jump into a small demo. I have two structural hollow sections here where I need to close the ends by end caps. You can select multiple faces at once for identical end caps. Next step is to decide what directions the end caps should be placed, either inside or outside. I go with the outside. If you like, you can switch the selection mode with a small arrow on the right side next to the placement icon. So in this step I choose how the end cap corner shall be look like. I take the chamfered corner. Yes, I should adjust the thickness, but I intentionally skip this step to show you the editing of an end cap later on. I continue with the insert of the end cap. You have a great preview to immediately see your parameter changes. In the insert field, you can enter a value to get a distance from the front face of the structural frame to an end cap. This is useful for future weld seams. Just in case there is an end cap rotation required, you also have the rotation field available. In the Part Properties section, you can specify the end cap material and appearance. Depending on your needs, you can also choose what values should come across into the part number I property, either the file name or the contents under family definition. But let's create the end caps for this example. The frame member naming dialog pops up, and we can have a quick look at the file naming scheme has been taken from the application option settings. Of course, you could also manually edit the end cap file name if required. I take the naming default. Good, the end caps have been inserted, and it seems the chamfers are still a bit too small for this profile. I go into the model browser and expand it. You can see the end caps are grouped. Right-click on an end cap you'd like to change and edit with Frame Generator, changing the chamfer value to 15, and the end cap is now insertable in practice. When you are working in the Insert Frame command and the preview of a frame member appears, you can now interact with in-canvas manipulators. Click and drag on manipulators to change the frame member position. The Known method in the Insert Frame dialog is also available, and you can adjust the orientation of each frame member there. To provide a better user experience, we continue to add property panels to existing commands. The Notch command also appears as a property panel now. In the panel, the multi-selection of frame members is automatically done if you are in the frame member or notch tool selection. So there is no separate option to select multiple members at the same time anymore. Following an overview what functionality the Notch command offers. In the behavior section, you get the basic notch profile per default. The value above the schematic picture is editable, and you can enter a single offset value is applied to the complete notch. In specific use cases, the Extend Notch Profile checkbox can be used to apply the notch on overlapping frame members to have a notch completely applied. I know there are better examples than my one, but with the disabled checkbox, material would remain as soon as the notch tool frame member ends. When you switch from basic notch to custom eye templates, you can apply different offset values for each face of a notch. This is much more detailed than a single offset. There's also the possibility to create custom profiles for notch profiles saved in the Content Center. For frame members consist of circular steel sections, the perpendicular cut checkbox creates precise intersections such as laser cut notches. Getting down to the miter command, what provides a property panel as well. As for the new notch property panel, there is no separate option to select multiple members at the same time anymore. Just use the window selection to select multiple members at once. Even the Lenghten/Shorten command disposes the new property panel. In addition, you get the asymmetric offset option, allows you to specify asymmetric offset values. The trim/extend to face command has an improved select area. The frame member selection comes at first now, and the face selection afterwards. In previous versions, these selections were ordered the other way around. There's also the new Trim Selected Part checkbox that lets you select the frame member side you want to keep. The picture below shows the options. A square profile goes through a frame member and needs to be trimmed. Enable or disable the Trim Selected Part checkbox to trim the square profile according to your needs. So, jumping into the Inventor 2020.1 update. Sarah made improvements for the insert and change commands. Previously, the copy properties eyedropper stayed active in the insert and change commands, and you had to click the select option to select more frame members to change. This was a bit annoying. Now you select the frame members you want to change, activate the eyedropper, and select the member you want to copy properties from. The copied properties are applied in the preview to the selected members, and you can continue to select new members to change. The eyedropper icon switched to inactive. A small but nice workflow improvement is when you use the insert or change command, the frame manipulator displays now where you click with your mouse. Further, you can now mirror frame members directly in the insert and change dialog boxes or by using the icon in the display. And we arrive to Inventor 2020.2 update, what provides a new category section to frame member selection in the insert and change commands to improve searching for a particular family. When you choose a category you'd like to choose frame members, the family list is now filtered to show only the available choices. Also included in the 2020.2 update, the reuse and the change reuse commands now display end treatments and user edits in the preview. In previous versions, end treatments weren't displayed in the preview and users could be confused as they could only see the final result after applying the command. In Inventor 2020 and 2020.1, we prevented to include reused frame members since they are theoretically treated as read-only. However, in some cases, it is useful to be able to edit reused frame members, such as with the miter command. You get the legacy behavior in Inventor 2020.2 back. There are new controls have been added to the in-canvas frame angel manipulator. You can now snap to 45-degree increments by A. Shift plus drag the manipulator arrow and B. Double-click the manipulator arrow. Another nice workflow improvement is provided while working with the Place Component Origin command in the Productivity group. You can now select more than one component to place in a single instance. In the Open dialog box, use the standard window keyboard shortcuts, Ctrl or Shift, to multi-select the components you want to place. So, the last enhancement for the assembly environment. There is a new default to Undirected checkbox, allows you to permanently revert to Undirected option, what was the legacy behavior in previous Inventor versions. If unchecked and you create an axial constraint, Inventor tries to predict the best solution for creating the constraint.